Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness and the Time of the Shift. Today, I want to talk to you about a type of abuse that I have noted that's happening in the light community, given the time of the shift and transition into a new reality that we're living in. And there are degrees of this that I want to discuss today. The first has to do with fracturing that is occurring by spiritual coaches and self-development coaches, business coaches for that matter, who are trying to support their client by trying to accelerate breakthroughs. And these breakthroughs, they believe, have to happen within a time frame of a program that they have created. Whether it be 8 weeks or 12 weeks, whatever perception that they may have through their analysis and their psychic perception of their clients, they begin now to force upon them the realization of their perception. Now, let me just say this. The human psyche is the most fragile system that exists in the universe, but it is also the most self-healing, which means that in its own time frame, your own inner guidance, because the healer is not the coach or the spiritual teacher. The healer, the true healer, is within you. That true healer will, in its own time frame, when it realizes that you, the personality, the individual, is prepared and ready to face whatever blind spots that you may have, it will reveal it to you. You will in no other terms and very clearly achieve a breakthrough that will cause you to basically begin to see yourself in a light that was very different than what you had before. A great master coach is the individual that fosters the rise and the natural evolution of the inner healer. Now, a lot of the coaches that I'm aware of, a lot of the self-development, even intuitive and psychic, it's not everything that you see that must be said. There are certain kind of information, whether you're cutting the card or you're reading or you're just being an intuitive, there are certain kinds of information when you see them, you're not permitted to say. And I know this for a fact with my clients, that there are times where I get perceptions, I just have to talk to their higher self. Are they prepared to hear this? And if they are not prepared, I will give them breadcrumbs so that the inner healer will help them get to the point where they themselves can discover it, rather than me just blurring it out when they are not prepared. I remember an instance in which I had a student of mine who was dealing with an issue, and I observed it. And for 8 months, I didn't get permission. I was not going to mention it. I just observed it. I gave great advice that were along the line for him to kind of become strong enough to face his own inner demons. And at the point that he was ready, he had a dream that was exactly about the issue. And after class, he asked me, Pierre, what about XYZ? I had this dream and so on and so forth. And when I heard him talk about the dream, I knew I had permission. And after I mentioned to him the big reveal of the issue, the core issue that he's dealing with, he turned around and looked at me and says, how long have you known this? I said, about 8 months. And he started laughing, because they all know me. They know that's what I do. I spend my time and allow the inner healer to come in. Because, you see, most of psychic intuitives and coaches, what they do is that they fracture you, they give you a breakthrough, because they have to prove to you that they're a great coach. And if they don't give you a breakthrough, they're not a great coach. I don't care. I am more concerned about the karma that I'm gonna have to deal with when I fracture you, because the moment you shatter the reality of the client, and you give them no way out, and particularly for intuitives and psychic, they just give you a big reveal and then walk away. I remember one time one of my students walked to me, a psychic told me that my father raped me when I was 4 years old. And she's breaking apart. This is not true. Tell me this is not true. I was gasping over the lack of care and basic fundamental love that this, it turns out it was true, but that's not the point. The point is that that psychic fractured this being. That reveal can come in a better way. No ascended master. Look, the vastness of information that the ascended masters know, none of them will do this to us. They will never bring to us information we're not prepared to deal with. Because what you're doing is that you're hurting them. It's not healing. There's no healing in it. That fracturing, if we take it to a deeper degree, is occurring in a more sinister manner, because a lot of the psychic and intuitive don't know any better. They're doing this, a lot of these coaches, because no one has ever told them. Now there is a more sinister scenario, and it is there are multiple groups that are out there that are really cults that are in disguise. They appear as religion, they appear as, they're using all the right languages for people like you and I who are light workers to be caught in the web of that community. They're giving you all of the right information. And a lot of the leaders of these groups are highly intuitive, at least psychologically and emotionally intuitive, and also spiritually intuitive and really gifted. But who they are really is what I call twilight masters. They are actually servants of the dark who are camouflaging themselves as light as a way to derail the path and the role that a lot of great beings are supposed to play in this great transition. And what they're doing is that they're using mind control techniques. And let me go over some of the basic steps. The first thing is that they have to put you in confidence and make you realize the value of what they have. So if they're doing past life stuff, they begin to reveal to you all of these past lives that you didn't have access to. You don't know how that's felt or feels true to you. And so profoundly true that you begin to believe that they are really as elevated as they claim that they are. Or if they are intuitives or psychics and they begin to reveal to you psychological defects and things that exist within you that have been blocking you for multiple years, whether it is because of your body relationships, work related, and so on and so forth, or self-worth and self-value. And when you completely now give them your power because you believe in them, they begin to veer left, they begin to derail you. And the way they do this is very specific. Very often, there is a doomsday kind of thing that's going on. There is some critical timing that's involved. There is something that you must do in such and such timing, otherwise things are not going to ever work for you. There is and there's a lot of pressure that's being put upon you to make you realize that you have to change. Yes, we all have to change. But as I said, the change must grow organically within you. They are telling you not only that you're wrong, and the way they're telling you that you're wrong, they do what is often seen as a public shaming. The first step is sensory deprivation. Okay? They do these programs and stuff where you can go 14, 18 hours straight without sleep, without, sensory deprivation, where they bombard you with information and then and you have to do this, you have to keep doing this. And as you do this, emotionally, psychologically, you're completely drained out. Or they begin to reveal to you past lives in which you did this and you were this evil person and you did this dark thing and you did, and making you feel worse and worse and worse about who you thought you were. Because in order for them to fracture you, they have to first break you the way you are right now. They have to shatter your reality at the moment. And once that reality is completely broken apart and completely shattered, then they can begin to tell you, although you may feel you made all these catastrophic mistakes, but if you were to do this, if you were to become like that, like the other, and so on and so forth, now they are inserting a new personality in. Now, I have witnessed people that were very close and very dear to my heart, because the way I teach, I'm not telling people not to explore. God knows, in order for me to get to where I am, I've explored everywhere. But I always had a sixth sense about these things. It's not that I didn't walk into the wrong place, but I had a sixth sense. Very quickly, I could realize these people are trying to mind control me. In another video, I will tell you my interview that I had with Scientology. This is years ago, right before I went to graduate school. So again, there are lots of these groups that are out there, and they are derailing. This is being done deliberately. These people are the leaders of these communities, of these groups, or twilight meisters. They are trying to derail the path of these great souls who came here to do real work. If you are involved in a group and these symptoms and these events, by the way, when the fracturing events happen, the individual that's being fractured get very sick, they get violently ill, whether it is asthma, they start, because some part of them, the psyche, the real psyche, is beginning to rebel and say, no, do not continue in that path. I remember at one time, one of my students going down the wrong path, and I knew she was going the wrong way. But there was nothing that I can do to help her. I'm going to tell you why. Because she believed that the people that were with her, the leaders of that community that she was involved in, were the actual ascended masters incarnated on earth and running this group for the first time, the entire spiritual hierarchy. I am just Pierre. There is nothing that I could have said to her to tell her differently, because I don't have the authority. Moreover, she was trying to change me. She was trying to recruit me, and she was trying to change me because they were brainwashing her into recruiting me. So I have seen quite a bit, and I had to tell you that my suggestion, if you know somebody that's going through this, pray for them. Moreover, they will have to realize it on their own where they are. There's nothing that anyone else, because they gave their power away to these people. And anybody else on the outside, it's us and them kind of mentality. Anybody else on the outside doesn't have the authority to begin to try to pull them back. No matter how much I love my students, I can't shake them out of the path that they've chosen for multiple reasons. Because I don't have the authority to do it. Moreover, karmically, they have karma with these people. Sometimes a soul chooses a path for the simple reason, and it may appear to you as a dark path and they're going to waste their time. Sometimes that delay will allow them to hurdle way past you in the evolutionary ladder. And so I stand back, I don't say anything, even though sometimes I'm being accused by, particularly in this case of this woman who was went to this other path and was trying to recruit me. She attacked me. I mean, really attacked me. And I was severely emotionally hurt because I love her and we have past lives together and so on and so forth. And all of this was very personal to me. But you want to know something? She also made a choice. And I have to respect the choice. And there are lots of things. I mean, she wanted to have a conversation with me face to face as she moved away from my influence. And I decided not to do it for the simple reason, because if I met with her, I was going to have to tell her the truth. That you are in a cult, and I would have to completely reveal this to her. When I spoke with her higher self, I realized that she was not ready for the reveal that if I had met with her, that I would have to say. Moreover, I would fracture her again, even deeper. So evolution and human contact and exchange is kind of complicated. And sometimes you have to sit with yourself and speak with God and your guidance and try to find which path and which way for you to maneuver yourself. There is no right or wrong. There's always, you do the best that you can. So if you know someone, or if you yourself are involved in what appears to be a cult, where you're being fractured, or you're being told, and by the way, to the people that are outside of the person who's involved in the cult, their personality is radically changing. Not in an evolutionary way, but degrading, terrifyingly degrading, where they're so blinded and nothing that is not in that path means anything. So be aware of this. I just wanted to share that with you. Please, if you are involved with somebody that's in that path, allow them the space to find their own way. I would suggest that you pray for them and ask their higher self for an accelerated manner in which they can learn these lessons that they are learning, so that they can move out of this territory quicker. Thank you for listening to me. I put a video once a week. Leave comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. Give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you, everyone.